Hello there, everyone, and welcome to MLB As of August 8th, 2019. So we have a lot to get into in this video. So we're going to talk about the state of both New York teams, the Yankees and the Mets, which has been interesting to say the least. And I'll talk to you all about an interesting piece of news in the world of baseball, as the Yankees next year will be traveling to another non-traditional baseball site next season, which will be very interesting to say the least. But let's not waste any time, so we'll get right to the standings. So first up, American League East. Yankees look fine right now despite the injuries. They are looking good. Bullpen's been good. The offense has been good. They get these minor league kids to come up, and they do very well. And they're meeting expectations, 75-39 right now. Best record in the American League. And pretty much the Yankees have run away with the division. They should have it wrapped up by early September, the way things look right now. So they're on pace for 100 wins. They might even get to 108 if they get lucky. But Yankees should finish with a record of 162. Right, 162. That's what I meant. Dash 62. So not 162 wins, just 100-62. That would be their final record. The Rays are still in the wild card hunt. I don't know how they're going to be able to stay in it, but the Rays are on the West Coast, so that will be interesting to keep an eye on. Red Sox, they're just not looking so good right now. Sure, they got swept by the Yankees, but they were 2 games back a week ago, and now they're on a free fall right now. They're 1-9 in their last 10 games, and the Yankees have only lost 1 game in their last 10. And then look at this. The Orioles are literally in a free fall too. They're like the worst team in baseball, number 1. And number 2, they've given up so many home runs to the Yankees, which the Yankees beat their own record with the Kansas City Athletics back in the 50s. In Baltimore, the Orioles also have the record for the most home runs given up by any Major League Baseball team this year. So, that's just craziness. It's Murderer's Row 2019 for the Yankees. They've gotten everything figured out. They'll have the division by September, and no need to worry there. Moving on to the Central. Right now, here's what we know. Central, we have the Twins, 70-44. Cleveland's knocking on the doorstep, and they will be playing the Twins this weekend. Starting tonight, believe it or not. So that's a big series. That's definitely a huge series this weekend. And then you have the rest of the division that just stinks. And in Motown, I do feel bad for Miguel Cabrera. Actually, no. Let me take a look. Who has the worst record in the American League? Wow, okay. So I am definitely wrong. The Tigers have the worst win percentage right now, 297. So that's the worst record in the American League right now. Maybe even all of baseball. And in the last 10, they're 3-7. Cleveland in the last 10 is 6-4. So the Twins lost their last 2 to the Braves. And the Braves are still around, which we'll get to them. But way things look, wild card could be Minnesota, Cleveland, Tampa, or the Oakland A's. The Oakland A's are still going to be around, but the Astros did something incredible over the trade deadline. They got Zach Greinke. So now they're automatically favored to win the American League pennant. The Yankees would be the other team, but are they going to make it to the World Series for the first time since 2009? That's a good question. We'll have to find that out. But season were to end today, the Yankees would have the East, and they'd have to worry about, would it be the Indians, or would it be the Rays? That's who they'd have to find out. That's who they would have to play in the first round. Thankfully, the Yankees would have home field in all of the playoffs if they finish with the best record in the American League. So the Yankees have to worry about the Astros. That's all I'm saying. The Yankees have to worry about not having a situation like 2017 where they couldn't host Game 6 and Game 7. If Game 6 and Game 7 were at the stadium, the Yankees would have won to the World Series 2 years ago. But it's going to be interesting. American League is already pretty much figured out. The National League's in a juggernaut because the Mets are 9-1 in their last 10 games. They were beating teams that were somewhat mediocre, somewhat bad. Past couple of games, they've had to beat bad teams, and they take care of business. That's the bottom line. And what's amazing is the 3 games above 500, they are literally half game back of the wild card, behind the Phillies. So, Phillies are playing the Giants tonight, and that game will actually be here on YouTube. YouTube's actually streaming the game tonight. So, will the Mets make it? They should. The way things are looking, I'm on to see both the Yankees and the Mets make it. Got some excitement around here. It'd be the first time since 2015 that both teams made it in the same season. But we have to factor in one thing. The Brewers are still going to be around. Phillies is still going to be around. The Nationals, that's the Mets are playing. Thankfully, the Mets don't have to face Scherzer. So Scherzer's definitely gone until he comes back next week, because he was supposed to come back for this series, but that's subject to change. We'll have to find out if Scherzer's even going to pitch this weekend, because I know Friday the Mets are going to throw out Marcus Stroman, who they got in the trade deadline. And also mention one quick thing. Yankees didn't get anybody, so how is that supposed to improve their chances to go to the World Series? But Mets will have Marcus Stroman tomorrow. They will have Syndergaard on Saturday, and then DeGrom on Sunday. So that's the way it looks right now. The Mets are really throwing out their best. And they traded Jason Vargas to the Phillies, so that'll be funny to see Vargas start for the Phillies, and then all of a sudden he gives up so many home runs to the Mets. That's what somebody told me when they traded Vargas. Like, it's possible the Mets could get rid of Vargas, which they did, and they have to face Vargas again. They're going to hit so many home runs off of him. And by the way, I'll mention one thing about Vargas. I swear he looks like a janitor. Like, you could tell he's that custodian who is a wannabe in a way. I mean, yes, he won the World Series 4 years ago, but look, the way he looks, my goodness. He looks like a janitor. Come on, that's a janitor face. Let's just go to the Central. Again, you have the Brewers. They're going to be around. The only thing for the Brewers right now is that Christian Yelich is not in the lineup. So we'll see if he comes back against the Rangers this weekend. The Cubs have it pretty easy against the Reds. But if the Reds get hot, oh, that will be insanity. That will be craziness. I do apologize with my phone there. But let's say the Reds, for any strange reason, sweep the Cubs this weekend. And let's say the Mets go on a free fall. And let's say the Brewers go on a free fall. And let's say the Diamondbacks, the Giants, they all go on a free fall this weekend. Cincinnati would be right back in the race. And it would be crazy enough, the Reds would only be 4 games back of the Central. So that's something to keep an eye on if the Reds do get hot. Now, if they take 2 out of 3, that get them 2 games or 3 games back? Maybe. We'll have to find out. So, Cardinals have really been on free fall. They haven't really been doing that well lately. They were supposed to be in the wild card, but I don't know. The Cardinals came back in 2011. Look where that got them. So anything can go. But the National League wild card is still competitive, which I'm very happy to see right now, but I really want to see the Mets make it in. Just because, again, around here in New York, you'll have a lot of crazy baseball fans, and it'll be fun to watch. But let's talk about the West very quickly. The Dodgers, they have the best record in all of baseball, 77-40. They're going to be playing the Diamondbacks this weekend, so that's a Dodger stadium. So LA should take care of business. I believe Kershaw is pitching this weekend. I don't remember at the moment because I think Kershaw pitched Tuesday. So I'm thinking the Dodgers had the day off today. So let's see. Kershaw pitched Tuesday. So the days are off. Okay, so that would be 1, 2, 3. Oh, Kershaw wouldn't even pitch till next week. But Ryu's pitching. Best ERA in baseball right now. He might win the Cy Young in the National League. In the American League, it's interesting. Domingo Germán's ERA is not the best for the Yankees, but he has like 13 or 14 wins. He might end up winning the Cy Young in the American League this year. So, moving on now to this article. And this was interesting news. The Yankees will be playing in Iowa next year, Thursday, August 13th, 2020, against the Chicago White Sox. So this is interesting. Let's find out the details. Oh, also, I want to mention one quick thing. Oh, I mentioned this, yeah. If it will pull up. Get injury updates just a second. I'll mention one thing during the Yankee game yesterday. Oh, this was a joke. This was a joke yesterday. So, Chris Davis got into an argument with the Orioles manager yesterday. It looked crazy. Let's see if I can play the video. Alright, so here's what happened, if it'll even load up. So this is the dugout. Wait for it to buffer. So Masson yesterday showed this. So here it comes, right? So here's Davis, and he gets into an argument with his manager, and he's trying to literally get into a fight right now. Literally trying to rough it all out in the dugout. This is what the Yankees used to do in the 70s. Yeah, just crazy what happened yesterday. Let's just get an update on Scherzer. Okay. Let's find out. So, looks like Scherzer might actually be traveling to New York and throwing a simulated game this weekend. So again, it's possible that Scherzer could come back next week, or even the week after. So if the Nats are still going to be serious about making the playoffs, they got to have Scherzer ready. Okay, here are some updates with the Yankees. So, let's see. Looks like Gleyber Torres will be day-to-day. So there's some good news on Giancarlo Stanton. He began baseball activities. So Stanton hit off a tee and threw on Tuesday. So let's see. It says CC Sabathia can come back next week. And here's some news about Severino. Oh! This is interesting. Betances. So it's possible that Betances could be coming back in the bullpen next week, and Severino could be coming back before Labor Day. Alright, so let's see. So Yelich still has back pain. Lorenzo Cain. Alright. I'm not really going to get into it. So at least Chun Jin's still trying to come back for the Brewers. But anyhow, let's get to the Field of Dreams story. So, Yankees and the White Sox on August 3rd, 2020 will be playing in Iowa. It'll be a temporary 8,000-seat ballpark in the corn on the Dyersville farm site where the classic film was shot. This will be a nationally televised game on Fox at 7 p.m. Eastern. And it will be the president of the Little League Classic in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Also, I'll mention, next weekend, August 18th, Pirates will be hosting the Cubs on ESPN next Sunday night for Sunday Night Baseball. So, pretty much, this is history. There's never been a Major League Baseball game in the state of Iowa. In Iowa, and I'm 100% sure about this, I'll Google it, because I remembered when I was a kid, I heard something about the... Yes, so look at that. Look at that. The Iowa Cubs. Look at that. So if I ever go to Iowa, I can see some baseball because look at this. This is a AAA team. I mean, that's big. So, wow, they weren't affiliated with the Cubs until 1981. They've actually won their league title in 1993. Wow, look at that. This is just crazy. How are they doing this year? So they don't list it. And the Iowa Cubs don't really have a good record this year. So I'll take a look and see if we can pull up their website. But it's just fun to look at. Let's just go back to this article. So think about this. Field of Dreams was done 30 years ago. 31 years later, they're actually playing in Iowa. So let's see. Followed by a Friday off day before the two clubs resume their 3 games in Chicago. So I'm trying to see if I can get the right. So what is their record? Okay. So the Iowa Cubs are not doing that bad this year. Here are the standings. So let's see if we can find their league. So I wonder, do you Oh, okay. So here's some good news. So look at that. Pacific Coast League, American North. I'll zoom in if you're on a phone or a tablet because you can get an idea. So look at that. Iowa Cubs are 61-54. Wow. And they will be playing the Las Vegas Aviators. Wow, that's a close one. El Paso Chihuahuas, 1 game. I'm sorry to be biased here, but I'm actually going to be rooting for the Chihuahuas. I know I don't keep an eye on minor league baseball, but hear me out. Hear me out. After what happened in that city, they need something to root for. So keeping in mind, even if you have a AAA team, that's very important to have. Because AAA is like the other level before you go to the majors. We're not really going to get into it that much, but... something to note if I ever go to San Antonio. They actually have a minor league baseball team. Good to know that. So it's MILB. And I believe they do have a streaming service. I don't remember at the moment. So, yeah, Yankees and White Sox will have to go back home. Well, the White Sox have to go back home that weekend. So construction will take place next Tuesday. So, crazy. And there was a game in Fort Bragg, 12,500 seat facility, game that was hosting the Marlins and the Braves. So, once again, we have the Cub and Pirate game next weekend, August 18th. That will only seat 2,366 people. That's very small. But it will be packed in there. That's a big deal. So it'll be 8,000 seats, which will be interesting. Alright, so with that, I think I'm going to wrap up this video. I know I made it a little bit long, but thank you all for watching. Let's hope the Mets keep winning. I want to see them keep winning, and I'll try to do another MLB video in 2 weeks, or maybe by the end of the month, because I want to keep you all updated on what's going on. So until the next one, please take care.